So, welcome to another video after what feels like absolute ages. And I just thought I'd just make a quick video and hopefully I can get away without having to edit it. Trying to take you along with a bit of a journey now. Like, I want to show you how I'm going to build my new computer. And this is pretty much a new video, a video that's gone on now, like is a new video in like ages. We haven't had any new videos on this channel in a century. And you know, YouTube doesn't like me anymore. They just went, no monetize, no. So now we aren't monetized anymore. So fantastic. So now pretty much what I'm planning to do is to show you a little bit what I'm planning for my computer in this first kind of video, and be able to kind of, I guess, give you a bit of a bit of a maybe an idea or something you can follow along for my new computer. Something, you know, where you can be like, oh yeah, he did that, or this is possible, or this is a bit of an idea. So that's pretty much what I want to do. I'm going to quickly go ahead and show you what I've lined up. This was also something that people seemed quite interested in streams, in the stream in. So I thought I might as well also make a little video of it, and just quickly discuss it and just go over it. You know, just for the funs and shits and giggles of it. So we've pretty much, I've put it together now, and I called it PC Rack Build 2025. The computer might get a new name. The last one I built was back in 2019. And it went with a period of about 3 years or 4 years of me not even using it, which is an absolute waste. It probably also explains why it hasn't been upgraded much. So yeah, it's been standing around for quite a while, and I'm recording on it now. And it was a really good computer when it came out. It wasn't amazing, but it was a really good computer when it came out. It had the Ryzen 1950X, ASUS Zenith Extreme motherboard, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, a 2080 Ti. So we had a bunch of components in there that were quite high powered, but it just doesn't hold up anymore by today's standards. And so I decided this is a good time to maybe talk about these things, and why it makes sense to do an upgrade anyway. I currently have, one of the big reasons I also should do an upgrade is I currently have Windows 11 on this computer, but it's not because Microsoft wanted me to be able to do that. No. It's because I was able to bypass their checks for it, because they don't support my CPU. I've got TPM, I've got all the fancy shenanigans they want, but Microsoft don't agree with my CPU. I pretty much had to bypass it, force install it, and it works somewhat. I think there's some quirks on the system that occur because it might not be an official version of it. I noticed it in some games. When I go out of a game for a bit of a prolonged time, I tab out of it, it will crash when I return. And this seems to be something that's on several games is the case. So it is quite interesting to be witnessing that and that being a thing. Now let's get past that and let's actually talk about the new stuff I'm looking into, or the new stuff I'm thinking about getting, or have already partially got. So I thought I'd go with an Intel Core Ultra 9 285K. And I know I am going to receive some partial hate for that. And I get why. People are not happy with this processor. This processor came out way underwhelming way underperforming all the stats that it was meant to hit, all the targets it was meant to hit. It is worse than the processor of the previous generation. So now you must wonder, Chris, like, what the hell? You know this shit. Why the fuck did you buy it? And the reason for that is I went on a partial gamble. So I'm assuming that this processor will get better. It's already getting better. I've seen the stats for people did measurements in performance over time with the Windows updates, BIOS updates that came out, Intel CPU updates, firmware updates, and the performance has already gotten quite a bit better to when people were measuring it 2 or 3 months ago, or even 1 or 2 months ago. There's quite a big jump in performance, and there's also ways to unlock more performance out of it. And I find the processor really, really good because I'm looking for something that can also do some of these creative tasks that require more cores rather than higher clocked, less cores, which is just more a gaming-centric way of building a computer. So I need something that is a bit more all-round regarding content creation as well as gaming. And this processor will not be a slouch. Obviously, the launch has been horrible. Obviously, it required its updates. But by the time I have it in the computer and I'll be doing all the BIOS flashes, all the updates, everything, I want it all to be smooth and as peak as possible, I should be set. Now, the other reason I'm going with an Intel processor, and you guys probably have been screaming at me now, just in your head, you'd be like, what the hell? Why is he going for an Intel processor? AMD's so much better. Intel's been terrible the last couple of years. What's wrong with him? And you're probably just banging your head against the wall on this. And the reason for that is I want to have Thunderbolt, official Thunderbolt on my motherboard. And that would range between Thunderbolt 3 to 5. But I'll probably won't take advantage of 5, or not as much of 5 as I will 3. And the reason for that is I've got a crazy plan. I'm going to follow in the Linus Tech Tip steps, and I will decide that I will I will put down Thunderbolt fiber optic lines in my apartment from where the PC is to my desk and my office. So the PC will actually be located in the same room as where I am. It will be in the corridor where the servers are. And on that note, I might as well show you the case and you'll get a bit more of an idea of what I'm trying to do. So I'm definitely going to go with the Silverstone RM600. I was debating between the RM52 and this one, but the reason I went with the RM600 is because I'm going to go water-cooled, and water-cooled with hardline tubing. So I need a bit more space. I want to take advantage of a lot more radiator space as well at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and install water-cooled parts in this. And as you can see, it consists of 2 levels. So this is the top level where the motherboard is. And you've got the wiring done on both sides for the PSU. So there's a chance that I will actually increase the size of these. I'll have to see how I'll do it with these rubber grommets. And I will put pipes through the case, or not even just actually pipes. I won't do pipes. I will actually put pump heads or pumps. Maybe I can even do 1 on each side, or I'll just do 2 next to each other, depending on how that spacing requirement works. And the idea is that I'll be able to use the space to actually still mount the pump vertically, because I'm going to use a Corsair pump, and it won't be possible to, it can't be mounted horizontally. So that's pretty much the idea for it, there's other ways of doing it as well. I could just put a flat pump in with some fans on it and whatnot. But I feel like that would waste so much radiator space that we otherwise could just use by literally mounting the radiators down, which will have 3 radiators. So yeah, the plan is to have 3 radiators, 1 RTX 5090 series in the loop, and then the Intel CPU water-cooled, maybe some RAM water-cooled, but that is already on the next level. I'm already happy if I can get those 2 properly water-cooled hooked up, and it will be the most beefy cooling that I can do. And the reason why I also even want to just go for this beefy cooling is because it will be in a closed environment. So where the servers are, they are closed away in a cabinet, in a storage closet cabinet situation. And that doesn't allow for a lot of air right now and a lot of breathing, and heat builds up quite a lot there. My hard drives in that server cabinet, they're running at 52 degrees, which is very suboptimal. And it causes, one of them is already, the parity drive is slowly dying away on me. The amount of failed sectors is increasing every other month pretty much. So my idea is that will also be completely replaced, but that will take some time. That is not as big of a priority. And so my idea is to build all of this in here. It will be a strictly, my idea is to have it to be a strictly M.2 system. I'm not interested in having a regular SSD or HDD combo. I could do that very easily with this case. As you can see, if I zoom in a bit, that you can buy bays for it in the bottom section. But we will not have any bays because we will have part of the water cooling down here. And then the rest will be power supply space. So it will be a bit of a mix of both. And then these parts, I don't think we're going to install any of them because there's no point. I don't need that much storage. Whereas I've got the servers to do, the cold storage pretty much, or the storage where I could just throw off all the files from this computer if I need to, video-wise. So that's pretty much the idea for this. And as we go, I'm going to do more like sketches or drawings or try and show you, illustrate how I'm planning to do this, and to kind of get an idea. Now, one of the other things I need to add to this or mention, I am planning to powder coat this case. Unfortunately, Silverstone doesn't do any customizations, or as far as I'm aware. And if anyone knows about any customizations, or anyone who does customizations, let me know. But as far as I'm aware, Silverstone does no customizations whatsoever for their cases. Because I really wanted to have this spray painted white and powder coated white. So I'm going to spray paint it white, or powder coat it. And it's going to be the first time I'm doing something like this. So it is going to be very interesting. But I think it's going to work out just fine. It's just pretty much a question of how well will I do it. So yeah, the idea is pretty much that I'll just paint all of it, take it apart as much as I can, and be sure to give it a good coat. And I'll buy a little booth. I really looked into these things. I want to buy a little like tent style booth, and I'll put that on my balcony, and so I'll be able to paint it in there and let it dry in there before we start assembling it again and start installing components. One of the other things that I've thought about as well here is we've got this cool, top bit of it. And since I'm planning to put some RGB in it, which is, maybe it's a bit stupid, not going to lie, but it might look cool. Rainbow puke, you know how it is. So the occasion, the 1 in the 20 million chance that I will show this computer to someone, and it's not just chilling in the rack, I'll be able to turn the lights on it on the RGB. And my idea is I will cut a big hole. I could cut a big hole in here, not too big, but quite a reasonably sized one, and put an acrylic panel in here. I just need to reinforce it somehow in this casing, or in the side panel, and then you could actually see into the case and see all the water cooling as well as the lighting, if I want to turn it on. So that's an additional little idea that I have. If you guys think it's a really bad idea, tell me in the comments. I'm very interested in your opinions, as valid or not as they are. And I'm just looking forward to hearing from you on it. Now, some of the other components, let's get into those while we're already at it. I did decide to choose the ROG Maximus C890. The reason for this is it does everything that I need it to do or want it to do. And in this price, you don't just get, I don't think you just get a motherboard. You get a lot of additional things, like a network card, like additional PCIe lanes, like a Wi-Fi card. I don't really need that, but just a lot of M.2 storage, just a lot of features that I want in general anyway. And obviously the Thunderbolt connection that I also crave and need. So pretty much that's the main reason why I'm going for it. And it's got all of it. You can see the Thunderbolt ports up here. Even says, I think, Thunderbolt 5. I'm not going to take advantage of that, unfortunately, because you can't go with Thunderbolt 5 over 20 meters. But with Thunderbolt 3 you can, and the fiber optic it's not CalDigit, it's Corning Gorilla is the brand. So I'm going to buy one of their cables, plug it in here, and then have it run all around. And I'm going to have a second cable, which is going to be a fiber connect. Is it fiber? No, fiber command, sorry. Fiber command cable. And the fiber command cable will go from my graphics card to my display. And the fiber command cable is a DisplayPort cable that supports the quality, the resolution that I need to be output, the double 1440p that my screen runs at, to be output and be displayed on my screen over that distance. And originally I wanted to only put in the Thunderbolt cable and use that, and that might be a decent idea, but I think just to avoid issues and to give myself a bit more bandwidth on my docking station, especially when I'm using it for like audio processing on high bit rates, and also like camera video signals are going through it. The Stream Deck is going through it, as well as my keyboard is going through it, and that's not a whole lot of crazy stuff. But still, I would prefer that to be uninterrupted as possible. I will try and first just run it with a Thunderbolt cable and see if that's already enough. I highly doubt it will be. I have my doubts that it will be, to be honest. Not highly doubt, that's a bit over the top, but I have my doubts there will be enough, and I might have some issues that I might run into, as I already have with some other devices that are connected to it in the past. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea for this. The other reason I really want it is a 10 gig port. So I am very blessed and lucky. I have 10 gigabit Ethernet, not Ethernet, 10 gigabit fiber optic here. And so my idea would be of getting a new UniFi switch, and that I don't have yet. This is also another investment. But this is planned for my servers, is to get another 10 gig UniFi switch and then plug in my computer there. And we can take full advantage of the absolute entirety of broadband bandwidth. It's not broadband, but the bandwidth that we've got over fiber optic. And and it will be absolutely amazing. And yeah, other than that, I think the other features are nice, but I don't really care too much about those. These are like the main reasons I really need it, or am really interested in it, as well as, you know, the M.2, the PCIe lanes, the ports on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For RAM, I would go with Corsair because I just love my Corsair stuff. I've got everything from Corsair. They just seem to work for me. And for the drive, I'm planning to go with a Samsung SSD. I've never made a I've never had bad experiences with Samsung EVOs. So I only recommend, even if I build a new computer, all the new computers that I built are equipped with Samsung EVOs or Samsung Pro drives, M.2 Pro or even SATA drives. And the idea behind that is, from my experience, Samsung has always worked. I've never had them fail, whereas I've had Kingston SSDs and they would just randomly fail on me. And I had to return them, and it was a whole ordeal sorting that out. So yeah. I'm also planning on going with some of Corsair's water cooling parts. I'm not quite sure yet about their GPU part or heatsink. The CPU heatsink looks amazing. I like it. The GPU heatsink, I am not all that convinced of. It looks a bit ugly. So I'm thinking about maybe going with Fantex there or EK. I might even just go with EK overall and just have my pump yeah, pretty much my pump and my radiators from Corsair, because or even those partially from EK, and just having my fans. It doesn't really matter all that much. It's more a bit of a question of density. If they're too thick, it won't fit in the case because they start overlapping over each other and encroaching on the space. Power supply, I don't really care that much. The only reason I picked this power supply is because you can monitor the power consumption, and that will be very interesting for us when it is in a server case. So we can see how much power is being used, can, you know, make assumptions about how much the bill will be, stuff like that. So that's pretty much why I have that, but it could still change. I could still go with an ROG4. Seasonic Prime, they're pretty good. I just want something where I can monitor the power nicely. And then I just like it all come together in IQ. So that's the idea of that. For the fans, I went with, or I'm planning to go with RX 120s. They're not so full-fledged, or as full-fledged as the other fans that Corsair has, but they are quite nice, and they're a bit more performance-oriented, which is more important for us in this situation, especially where it is built into. So, you know, considering that, this is probably the best solution. Yeah, and then moving forward, if we look at anything else, well, the rest is pretty much clear. This is the biggest problem. And I think everyone's aware of this. This is currently a piece of shit situation. Look at the rating. It says everything. This guy just came out, and it's already not doing well. And the price is way up there. I'm not planning to buy it at this price. I'm planning to wait, and this is both for financial reasons, as well as just being a sane human, even though I am considerably insane for going with a 5090 in the first place. The price, I assume, it will top out once all shit has settled. It will top out at 2.1, 2.2. Around there is where I assume it will be. Once this crap is over and people aren't going crazy about buying graphics cards, and then I will buy it and I will put water cooling on it. And yeah, then we should have a lot better graphics than we have now, because the 2080 Ti is horribly struggling. It doesn't run the game. It doesn't run games very well. It looks like I've gone back 10 years when it comes to graphics. It's awful. So yeah, this is pretty much my lineup. You know, Corsair X-Series pump, very run-of-the-mill pump, but also a very loved pump. So that's my plan. And who knows? There's a good chance that, and I can imagine this with this new series, since all these parts aren't exactly that new, that Corsair might update the HydroX lineup, and will come out with newer HydroX components, and I would be able to take advantage of that and you know, use those and incorporate them into my build. So yeah, this is pretty much the entire picture. There's one more thing that I wanted to mention that I'm really interested in adding. What was it? Let me just quickly look. New. Not pure fiber. I could just quickly show you this is the fiber optic cable for Thunderbolt 3 that I'm interested in. It seems like the price has gone up quite heavily. So that's a bit oof. And then if I go on pure fiber, this would be, well, not exactly this, but pure fiber basically does, if it shows up. So you have these, and they will interconnect with this big cable. Yeah, here's a DVI DisplayPort version, and it will interconnect with the big cable, and you'll be able to transmit all of that data through that. Anyways, to quickly show you, what was it called? I need to go on PiShop. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, I just forgot what it was called for a second. So what I'm planning to put into the computer is a Pi KVM, so that I can remote control and activate the board from wherever I want, and I can also BIOS flash in case it's really, really necessary, and sort out some issues, because I want this computer to be easily available whenever I need it, and I would even be able to start it up from remotely if I need to access any files or edit things on it, or you know, apply updates, stuff like that. That's pretty much the idea behind adding the Pi KVM to it, to give that additional level of pretty much IPMI controllability. So yeah, that is pretty much my idea, to add that on top of it. And yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Beyond that, I don't really have much to add right now. So things might change, parts might change, and I will keep you updated on how that goes. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, especially after so much time of me not putting up anything. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And yeah, on that note, bye.